Hey everyone, welcome to another Goody Reader Roundtable discussion. Michael and Peter here, and what we're going to do today is discuss the merits between iOS and Android. Now, it's a very polarizing topic. People are fairly loyal to their particular ecosystem. For me, I have an Apple TV at home. I have an iPhone. I have an iPad. I also use a myriad of other devices from time to time. You know, I do have an Android tablet. I do have a various amount of Linux-based e-readers. Peter, when it comes to Android, it's safe to say that you're a fan.
I am a fan. Not to say I don't like Apple. I mean, I do like Apple. I would never go out of my way to use it primarily. I do have an iPad mini with Retina, but we're not to be used as good examples because we have 45 devices around us at all times, Firefox, WebOS, I mean, just about anything you can imagine. But I would say, yes, my go-to tablet for my day-to-day is Coborg 10 HD, and my go-to phone, well, usually it's something a little bit better, but this is my backup phone. It's an LG Shine Plus, but a new phone will be coming shortly. But needless to say, it is an Android phone. I really like Android because you get more options with the type of devices. You can get a 4-inch tablet if you want, or you can get a 13-inch tablet if you want. You can get everything under the sun, dual core, single core, quad core, ones that flip and swivel and slide. Apple, you get iPhone, iPad, and maybe a smaller iPad, the iPad mini. Sure, there's generations 1 through 5 for the iPhone and 1 through 5 for the iPad and the iPad Air. They're all relatively the same structure, the same layout. You get the little button at the bottom and the screen and the camera at the top. It's all the same. There's nothing unique. Well, I mean, it's unique on its own, but there's no variation between devices. I mean, there's thousands.
It's true. You don't really see a lot of... I mean, iPads have always been 9.7 inches. The phones have relatively always been the same size.
A little bit longer on the 5.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, iPod Touch, you know, the iPod, you know, Apple TV, its form factor hasn't changed. I agree. It's been like slow iterations where like the resolutions got better, it's become slimmer, you have better internals, it's a more sort of sexy looking product between the iPad Air and the original iPad. You know, and I've had them all. So here's what I like about the iPad, and Peter's opinions are valid, but at the same time, I look at it from like a developer's point of view. If you're making a game and you have a 9.7-inch display, it's very easy to make games that are compatible with all versions of the iPad. Whereas if you're going to make a game for Android, it's like Peter said, I mean, 4-inch screens to like 13-plus-inch screens. It's very hard to optimize your art assets for every single different screen and all the resolutions. That's really why I'm a fan of iPad or iOS in general, is because it has a lot of first-party developer support. When Telltale releases The Wolf Among Us or The Walking Dead, or Supercell releases Bomb Beach, they're iOS games because it's like you have 2 different sizes of the phone, you have 1 size of the iPad, and then you have the iPad mini. So that doesn't require a lot of work on the art front. So this is why the iPad has the best first-party game support. And that's why, like, I mean, I don't play games a lot, but when I play a game, especially like The Walking Dead or The Wolf Among Us, I really love story-driven games, but at the same time, you know, I like playing games like, you know, what do I have on here? Like G.I. Joe Battleground. You know, I have one of my favorite games right now is Faster Than Light, or FTL, which was a port from a Steam exclusive on the PC. And you don't really see games like that on Android. So this is why I'm a fan. It's like the first party support. And when these games do cross over to Android, they're pirated.
Yeah,
like, they're pirated the hell out of.
I was going to say that,
And so it's really hard for companies to actually make money focusing on Android exclusively, just because, like, all you have to do is, if you don't want to spend if you don't want to buy the new Final Fantasy remastered editions for like $19.99, you just Google that game in APK, and like 30 pages load up where you could just like download that and the data files for free. I don't endorse piracy, but this is like why I find it hard to be invested in Android, just because it's like, by its very definition, it like almost just encourages piracy, and
Right.
I'm not really down with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to your screen optimization too. I agree with that. I mean, I don't like piracy either. Although I'll talk about side loading in a sec. But as you can see here, I have two different Android devices in the form of tablets, and one is 7, one is 10. And when you port a game over, say from an Apple device to this, you end up getting these weird black bars on either side to fit it in, because it's not just
aspect ratios.
Yeah, it's not even the screen size in terms of the inches, it's the aspect ratio, because sometimes a 4:3 game will not look good on a 16:9 aspect ratio tablet. And the Kindle Fire, for example, is very long, it's very landscapey. So when you put a game on that, unless it's a rail game like Temple Run or Sonic Dash, it's gonna look like there's bars on either side to fit it to that square, and you're going to get a lot of things in the way. And I do agree Apple is consistent because they have a phone, a tablet, that's it. They only really have to make two, with the exception of the iPad mini, which in that case they just scale it down. But yeah, the beauty about Android though is that, other than pirating paid stuff, which I don't endorse either, but you can sideload things freely. So if there's alternative apps, or if you're working on something with a friend, or if you know, you're just kind of trying something out from your school project,
you want to get like a different keyboard, you use Swipe or a Swift key, or if, you know, with Amazon they use Android, but it's a heavily skinned version of Android,
Mojito.
so it gives you a totally unique experience. Same with the Kobo. I mean, it's not vanilla Android.
No,
it
it
actually is like a Android tablet designed for reading with like a very special user interface.
Yeah, bookshelves and the whole magazine feed and everything. But yeah, I mean, I love the fact that you can sideload things freely. So if you did have, you know, an alternative app that isn't on that particular store, like isn't on the iOS, the Apple App Store, sorry, you can just sideload it in on an Android device, whereas you can't do that on Apple.
Yeah, so Apple is a bit stifling. They act as a gatekeeper and keep out content that it might find racy, or maybe it competes against Apple, or maybe it just uses the word I in it.
Yeah,
Apple tends to like not allow apps that has the word I in it, because it's their apps, you know, like iBooks, you know, iLife, iWork, you know, things like that. So for me, customization is not a big issue. I buy a device because I want the largest pool amount of apps available, and I want it to just like work. I don't want to open up a magazine and see scaling and aspect ratio problems.
Or have it force close on you 10 times
we
in a
did
row.
magazine comparisons between the iPad and Android tablets, and all the Android tablets, even with PDFs, had like aspect ratio problems.
Yes.
Whereas with the iPad, it was like full screen, super lush,
edge to edge.
So I'll go back to publisher, app, and developer support. Everyone could customize a comic book, a magazine, an ebook, and have no problems at all on the 9.7-inch tablet. You will almost always have the same problems on Android with the exact same content ported over, just because of the different screens. And so that's really what it comes down to for me. I like the simplicity of Apple. I don't really care about special keyboards, parallax effects, you know, loading in like a GoPro launcher or something like that, and just changing on my own. I don't care about, you know, installing, like, rooting my device.
You don't like widgets, though? You don't feel that the iPad needs widgets?
Even when I have Android tablets at home to develop on for our own Video Reader App Store, which is Android only, ironically. But you know, I don't really care about that. You don't want like a
weather widget or a clock on your main screen?
If I want a weather app, I'll load up like Yahoo Weather and just check it.
I guess so. I kind of like having that 2x4 grid of maybe the weather for the weekly forecast, or, you know, a feed of your Twitter updates and stuff like that. Stuff you can't really get on Apple unless you open the respective app.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I mean, and I agree with Michael. It is way more attractive for developers and publishers to gravitate towards Apple, because they only have a couple screen sizes to deal with, and they look at Android and they're like, wow, there are 7,000 different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of different resolutions, like a lot of just perspective problems that will arise because of that. So the bug logs sometimes can get out of control.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like, you know, really The Walking Dead for Android is on season 2, and season 1 just hit Android like last week.
Right.
So
I remember that.
what do you guys think about this? I mean, we've only sort of scratched the surface and kind of really talked about the issues that are compelling to us. Peter likes the customization, to be able to sideload in apps, more flexibility and control with like widgets and you know, different types of unique devices, like all of your crazy Docomo phones and everything. I'm more of a fan with iOS. I like simplistic things. I'm not heavily involved in customization. I just want devices that will last the day.
And that will work almost flawlessly.
And if I buy something, I get it as it was intended.
Yes.
So for me, it's all about like the quality of content. What do you guys think? Drop a comment below, and myself and Peter will try to respond to all your comments. If you have any direct questions to us, let us know. And for a Goody Reader Roundtable discussion on the merits between Android and iOS, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.
Android, Apple, you know, it's kind of like, no, I'm just kidding. Android and Apple both have their pros and cons. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this stirs the pot of conversation, because we know it's a timeless battle between the OSs, between those two. Keep watching our YouTube videos at youtube.com/goodyreader if you're watching them on another website. We have over 900 videos, contests coming up, and lots more to come, from everything from unboxings, reviews, comparisons, drive times, news blasts, everything in between, everything under the sun, e-readers, tablets, digital publishing, and even some smartwatch stuff. So keep watching goodyreader.com.